kerning is. This is what we call professional whatever. Alright, so we can do this. Bing.
Excuse me.
Alright, looks like the draft is starting very soon. Let me do... What's the draft website? I don't remember anymore.
Oh, Lord.
It is draftmeaspy.party.
Alright, I got it. Alright. I got the picks and bans screen up as soon as we are ready. KCM will be joining the thingy soon. Them graphics, I know. RJ, what? Did such a good job? Oh, yeah, that's right. My big red warning I added. I'll let you guys comment on the picks and drams once it starts. Looks like KCM has joined the room. I'll shut up and I'll let the two professionals who know what they're doing talk.
Professionals. You hear what he called us?
And KCM has won the coin flip. So, I don't know what that means. I'll take the SPY second. Perfect.
You have to at this point.
Yeah.
There's really no good reason not to overthinking it if you have any kind of strategy that involves picking otherwise. Yeah, we don't know what he called. We don't know if it was heads or tails now.
That's all right. KCM starts things off by banning Panopticon any 5 of 8.
That's interesting. I mean, I think of KCM as being pretty good at Panop, but I don't know. Maybe he just thinks Caley's better.
Unsurprisingly, Caley takes off Softel High Rise, the any 3 of 5. Caley, the known camper of the SpyParty community. KCM pulling off the other Panop setup, any 5 of 7. So no Panop for KCM this day. And KrazyCaley, again, unsurprisingly, removes Balcony, any 2 of 3.
Yeah, it's not at all surprising here. I think with KCM, I don't think he's bad at Panop. I don't think he hates Panop. I think he just thinks that it's a little more suited to Caley. It's really about countering Caley's strengths rather than avoiding any of his own weaknesses.
I agree.
Let's see what they pick. That is always more telling.
It is indeed. Judging by the in-game screen, it looks like we're going for beginner versus beginner pub.
Breaker, you just play beginner versus beginner modes, and the first person to lose a spy is the loser.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
That sounds hilarious.
Now, it's always interesting when I spectate these drafts. The picks almost always take longer than the bans. There it is.
KCM starts things off for us with Newark Ballroom, any 4 of 7, like you said.
I don't think Caley has any problem with that. I think both of these spies kind of prefer the same maps anyway, so I don't think anyone's going to be picking anything that the other is particularly uncomfortable with. It's just about slight marginal preferences compared to the other. Ooh, look at this.
Caley going large with Newark Veranda, 5 of 8.
That's interesting. I'm not going to say I'm surprised exactly, but I wasn't expecting it either. Don't know what to think. We just haven't seen too much competitive play there yet, so it's a little bit of an unknown.
But a 5 of definitely does favor Caley, I think. KCM picking up the non-crowded pub, any 3 of 5 at 3 minutes and 15 seconds.
Yeah, that's a big one, and I think it might just be trying to just purely a counterplay against Caley.
I agree. I completely agree, because that is going to cause some slight issues for Caley's camping heavy style of sniper.
And Caley picks Gallery any 4-8, and we're ready to go.
Gallery is always such a fun map to watch. But we are, in fact, going to be starting off the festivities on Newark Ballroom 4 of 7. So there will be a mission that has to be taken off here.
An underrated part of this, that's not quite as spy favored as the normal setup there. And it's going to be microfilm. I understand that. I think I was saying earlier that microfilm is surprisingly viable on this map. That's all true, but it's still the most logical choice to remove against most top snipers.
I agree. Swap can come off at a moment's notice.
Right.
Purloin is very hard to catch on Ballroom.
Here we go.
But we are getting things underway for the first game of our Diamond League matchup of
Yep.
the evening.
Low viewing angle for the sniper. It's really hard to take that off. You're right. Swap would be the next most obvious one, but I think Swap has become pretty viable with the new art in particular. And like you say, you can do it late. And whereas with microfilm, you need to plan ahead a little bit. So I do think this is generally the one you want to take off.
Track, did you see the bug? Did you see it? The
No,
bug?
and I didn't see it, and more importantly, KCM didn't see it.
The bug, though! It was so nice! I love it when that happens! First flirt comes out for 34% after there's already a hardtail done! Yes, please!
Yeah, not bad. Doesn't have highlight for it or anything. Just straight up. There's nothing to talk about here. He's got his fingerprint, and you can see what he's doing here. He's got one flirt. He's figuring, you know what? As suspicious as a potential fingerprint might be, if I can do it instead of going to statues or something, since I've already got that bug, this gives me options.
And the ambassador coming off of a statue and going into a bookcase. There are so many fingerprints available on the map right now.
Yeah, and let's see if Caley takes advantage. This is an example where Caley's playing well and the party is working with him. And when that happens,
Yeah.
look out, because that's usually leads to a spy win.
I feel kind of bad for Kaylee on that one. He's going in for the flirt, and the second target's like, no, I'm picking up this briefcase, sorry.
Yeah. Yep, and you like to see that. You like to see the early fingerprint and the early flirt because it keeps those options open. You want to be able to react to the party. You don't want to have too much of a game plan. You're just not going to be dynamic enough. You know, you need to learn and react in the moment, and you can do that better when you have fractions of different missions like this. You got to be careful not to do too many and put a lot of work out there that doesn't come to fruition. For example, a minute and a half left. He's got to start converting these into completed missions soon.
Second flirt has come off. There is a fingerprint available on still the statue and the blue bookcase.
Let's see how many lowlights he gets here. He desperately needs some.
Oh
okay.
my god! I think KCM was way more wise to that bug than he was letting on.
Here, and yeah, he was zoomed in right then. I think he caught it, and he was waiting. Maybe not positive, but you keep in mind, Caley had done a fingerprint and a few flirts. There'd been no BB, there'd been no statue visit. He didn't have to shoot. A lot of credit to KCM for only shooting when he had to.
Yeah, if you look at the sniper's camera at 324, you can see Wheels' arm coming down off of the armrest and on for the bug. But the next game has, in fact, started coming underway as KCM picks up the spy side and looks like he's removing Swap instead of microfilm.
Quick, though, we were talking about the lack of lowlights. That's why. He was pretty sure he saw it, and he was just waiting for confirmation. And yeah, we were also saying if you're not going to remove microfilm, Swap is the next most likely. And there it is, taking it off. I get it.
Indeed, indeed. KCM...
This is not surprising at all. KCM and I remember we had conversations about this, and I told him, I said that about microfilm. I said, well, it's the obvious choice. And I remember he argued with me a little bit. He was fighting for microfilm as a viable option, even back on old art. Well, he's practicing what he preaches here. Green Purloin, though, wow. Early on.
Green Purloin, indeed, after getting shunned by the seduction target. Stepping into painting to be inconspicuous about it. Comes off fast, though.
I think Kaylee's on this. And I actually think Kaylee got some more good luck there from the party.
Nope, misclick. Never mind.
Yep. Yeah, I think Kaylee's on this. Not only is he on it, but I think a little bit of luck there. I think pretty much the next person took it, and they took it near the front of the window in a very visible spot. He didn't have to look around and wonder who had rejected or anything like that. He got to narrow it down real quick. But you notice he's got two highlights. KCM's not one of them. But KCM is neutral in.
The cough!
Oh, that's a shame.
Oh, red test, banana bread. Sometimes you die because you cough.
Yep, that's pretty rough. I actually like the Purloin. I think Kaylee was on it and he was in big trouble already. But I do think that was bad luck. The very next person took it, and again, didn't take it at the back of the party, didn't take it at a weird angle, didn't take it with any occlusion. He got a nice direct view if you look at that replay of the Purloin, and how often do you get a nice clear view of the Purloin on Ballroom? That's rough.
Absolutely. I feel like KCM played that pretty well, but this time this party lined up in favor of KrazyCaley, and he certainly did take advantage of it.
Had at the end. I don't know how positive he was, but the red test made it real easy for him when he had it narrowed down to 3 people.
It did indeed.
And here's the game. Veranda.
Veranda, any 5 of 8. This is a much bigger map that hasn't seen a lot of competitive play. It used to a lot back in old art, but the new art version is a bit of a different beast.
Then just a little bit, in my opinion. The only person I can think of who I know for a fact loves it is Slappy Davis, who I'll be playing this week, by the way. Get ready to have that banned, Slappy, maybe.
Interesting to note, KrazyCaley kind of reaching for a walking bug at the beginning of the game and not finding it, gets highlight for it, and then just walks in and bugs the ambassador anyways, and fingerprints his briefcase.
Yeah, it does them both, and once again, you see Caley being aggressive early in a way that sets him up for the rest of the game. He tries to get something done in the time of chaos or thereabouts after, while everything's still setting up, while the party's still moving around a lot, and then he puts himself in a position where he can slowly press that advantage, just sort of eke away, right? Get a flirt here, a fingerprint there, take the BB when it comes. You know, the only question is really, how suspicious is he? He does have a highlight, so it's entirely possible that he's already a big suspect. But it's Veranda. Like Panop, even if you're a big suspect early, other suspects are going to make themselves known. It's easy to lose track late in the game.
Absolutely. And I really like the timing on picking up that second bug because...
Ooh. Okay, he knows he's suspicious because fake BB.
Unfortunately, in convo with an SDA. Doesn't know it, but he is.
Yeah, Pone Noob points out very rightly that some people highlight the shorter character in general just so he's a little easier to find. That's totally plausible too.
But
a bug, I'm gonna err on the side of that's a genuine highlight.
Another thing to keep in mind is the timing on the actual bug was really good. Oh, never mind. Green Purloin is happening right now.
Yep, and he's not leaving the general area, but Toby's already in another part of the party. You know, he's coming back now, and that's a problem when Toby comes back to where you rejected.
More rejects.
Getting away from the Green Purloin is more valuable on maps like this or Panop because sometimes they'll low-light the entire half of the party away from the Purloin, at least, if they're desperate.
Yeah. Purloin has come off.
He's on it.
Looking around and takes the shot on Caley. The sniper play has been insanely on point in this match.
The snipers are all over this stuff. I gotta say, I think what's happening there is, pretty suspicious of the bug.
Yeah.
Not positive, because at that point, you can't imagine that he was positive about the fade. That was a long reject chain. All he knows is he has someone who's a big suspect, and he's part of the reject chain. That's probably enough, he's thinking.
Yeah, I think so. And these early bug attempts, I feel like, are... Like, they've bitten KrazyCaley twice in a row now. It'll be interesting to see what he does on the spy side early on moving forward.
Yeah, I think KCM knows his opponent here. He knows that Caley's going to favor those bugs, particularly the early ones. I don't know if that's something that turned up in any research he might have done, but it's really working so far. Very nice sniper play there. And again, I really think Caley erred there in not getting to the other side of the party. I don't know if it would have mattered, but I just don't see any reason to hang around. I know that you want to play it cool sometimes and not look like you're running and draw attention to the Purloin, but in this case, you might already be a suspect. And again, on the big maps, you'll get snipers who just say, I'm not sure. Let's assume everybody on this side's out, because they need to catch up if they think they're behind. When you think you're behind, you make desperate low-light decisions. Why not put yourself in the position to take advantage of that?
Next game is underway. KCM does not right-click as he steps by the ambassador.
Yep, he's playing it a little slower, and you keep in mind, he rushed, and it didn't work out for him, so maybe play it a little slower, especially on a big map like this. We'll see. Maybe frame a little bit.
Shall see. Well, certainly has set himself up to take some time with the early time ad. Picks up a flirt for 46% with a bit of distance. And steps in for his banana bread. So certainly not pulling his punches here, even with the early time ad.
Wow, very few. I think maybe one low light. Orange Sari is at Statues, has not gotten a low light yet. I don't think anyone else has. I don't think he got the one low light he would have gotten from that.
That was pretty much the God BB. Another flirt coming in at 80% now.
Didn't even get the one low light. What is going on? Is he... Okay, at this point I'm a little worried. Now I'm thinking, is Caley almost positive about the time ad or something crazy? Because not getting even that one low light is amazing to me.
Well, I think the reason he didn't get that one low light is because it might have been a BB split for her
I
because there was
guess
an
it just
SPA
seems
there.
so cautious. You need those low lights on veranda. That's a big deal. Takes the green book, comes back here. Nothing to do in this conversation. It might just be idling a little bit and trying to line up another flirt.
Either way, KCM is in a very strong position with 3 minutes left on the clock. One mission done, green book in hand on the blue bookshelf side of the map, 80% on the flirt. I don't think any suspicion.
Nope. He's going to dump that green book in the blue bookshelf. Uh-oh.
Caley knows!
He's all over it.
Caley knows!
Yep.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
the sniper play tonight!
Yeah, excellent job. Now, the real question here is, did he really just track it that well, or was he suspicious about the time ad, and that confirmed it for him? Because that really, as good as Caley is, as good as all these snipers are, they seem to be catching a lot of this stuff, and I really think that maybe he was already tunneling a little bit on Alice, possibly?
I'd be willing to agree. I think after seeing that shot, it's safe to assume that he had seen a lot more of that time ad than he was letting on. Maybe he had a few different suspects for it.
I think one thing that's a little underrated on this map, though, is not so much memorizing the books, but just memorizing who's come from blue. If you just memorize who's come from blue, you can catch a surprising number of these.
Absolutely. But now that we're 2-2, snipers have been reigning supreme. But now, the spy only needs 3 missions. And as KrazyCaley gets ready to step into this, he has removed both the purloin and the swap. The swap, I understand. The purloin is interesting.
It is interesting. I don't mind it because you can make an argument for it against the other missions. All the missions here are very good that are left. You have to pick at least one. Swap is the obvious one, though.
Agreed.
Certainly. Now, so if you're either spy right now, you're probably sitting there thinking, man, I can't get away with anything. And I want to see how...
Look at this, though. Look at the early inspect. This is so bold.
I don't mind it.
Especially after he's been getting shut down so hard. This is an incredible move, I think.
I like it. And notice, by the way, though, the KCM has not highlighted for it yet. He might just be hoping to remember. KCM does not reliably highlight for statues. I feel like in this setup, though, you almost have to.
Agreed.
Spies play this. I want to see if they switch it up because, again, they're not getting away with anything, and both of them are probably very frustrated at spy right now. So I want to see if they play it any different.
Oh, I loved the maneuver of not stepping in with the seduction target even before he followed us.
Yep. And only 47%, though.
Yeah. But he had the time to play with, so not stepping in with the seduction target is not only lowers your suspicion, but also doesn't let you get paired up because he was the only one in that conversation. And the seduction target just saunters on over and gives us 47% anyways.
Here's another bonus, by the way. The seduction target came to you, so if he does pair them, he's more likely to pair him as the spy and use the ST, so the next time that you go to flirt with him, it'll reflect suspiciously on him when he sees you together.
And now here comes the ambassador. Not in position to bug, but...
I wouldn't advise it either, yeah.
I think that's a bit too risky. He can if he wants to, I just don't think it's worth it.
I think with this setup, you bug if you get a great opportunity. You bug if there's a big pile up by the doorway maybe at the beginning of the game. If you get a good shot, or if you're desperate at the end of the game.
He's twitching over. He wants it.
Oh, boy.
Bug-in convo has come off. I don't think it was seen.
TM was not moving. I don't know what he was looking at. I think the angle was just so that his hand was either not visible from behind the AMBA or just barely visible. We're going to have to check the replay at the end of this.
I think it was at least slightly visible. I'm not sure.
Slightly,
it was a good bug. And now, BB for the win.
I don't think it was a good bug because I think if KCM had a very slightly different angle, it would have been very visible. He just had almost exactly the right angle not to see it. The BB,
Look at
though,
that
could be
stealth highlight. Look at that stealth highlight. Fake BB comes off. Pretty solid one, actually.
Well, he at least knows that Alice couldn't have done it. Because one SD is in with Orange Sari. Orange Sari gets the highlight for being literally the only person who could have done that BB. But he's not buying that she's done. So let's see what Caley does here last. Try to finish that flirt. He needs 2 of them, though, in 30 seconds.
He does. Does hit the green, so any flirt will finish this up from whatever range. So that's quite nice. The distance is
I think when
there.
he goes and flirts, I think he's going to get shot for this flirt.
I agree, but he's got to try it. It's his only option.
He's chasing him so blatantly.
15
I know he has to
seconds.
try. Yep, here it comes.
10,
He's lining up the
9,
shot already.
There's going to be overtime.
Boy, I don't like that. I'd rather do it so there's only going to be a
5
second or two of overtime.
seconds. Yeah, because this is a bullet guaranteed. There it is.
Oh.
Shot comes off.
Very well played.
That was a great game by both players, I think.
It really was. It really was. I thought Caley played it a really solid game there. I think the fake BB is where it came apart. I think he was in a really good position before that. I'm not sure how deliberate it was. The bug, I don't know if the bug was a good decision or not, again, because a fraction of a difference in angle right there for KCM, and it would have gotten him killed instantly. But it was just enough, and, you know, I don't care. Nobody can actually tell based on the position of the laser, even if you knew where it was without any latency. You can't really reproduce that angle in your head accurately enough to be sure. So at that point, it's, you know, you're making an educated guess at best. I think that was a very aggressive move. It worked out beautifully, but hats off to KCM for reacting perfectly to that fake BB. He figured one person could have BB'd. I'm going to bring them up. I'm going to keep an eye on everyone else. And he just patiently waited for Caley to chase. And when he did, he didn't even rush the shot. He waited for overtime. He played that from the fake BB on perfectly.
I agree.
And fingerprint and inspect coming off now, by the way. KCM.
Yep, fingerprint and inspect. Leaving the swap on instead of the inspect. What an interesting choice. So now he can go into the statues if he wants to lose some heat and not swap. Nope, changing things around, and now Purloin and Swap are out. This is much more expected.
Okay, I was going to say, sometimes you get the default mission selected a little weirder. I still think Purloin's a little underrated here, but this is a perfectly logical setup. The only thing that would cause me to question it is if Swap were not taken off.
And away we go.
No early bug opportunities. Nothing even close to an early bug opportunity.
But a super nice early flirt opportunity as Seduction sidles right on up to us. Not, like, snuggly, but 32% still.
You'll take it, and I want to see if he timer flirts here. I think he might. There's just nothing else lining up right now. The DAs are relatively alone. No, he's gonna move. Interesting.
Looks like he's lining up for a banana bread. Lots of people in conversation, so it's an amazing time for it.
Yeah, you gotta jump
Only person who could have been low-lit there was the ambassador.
Perfect. Now, obviously, you'd rather that happen in the fuller conversation, but in this case, the SDA was in the other one perfectly.
Well, he by definition he was.
Yeah, right.
He can't be in with the real DA.
Yeah, I always prefer. I just prefer to do it in the. Just split them, for example, by highlighting one group and low-lighting another, something like that. I always like to be in the larger one.
Look at this, Caley tracking flirt.
Maybe. You wonder. He might just be noticing the fact that he's moved around twice already.
But also highlight the seduction target at the exact same time, though.
Yeah, he might be. He highlighted Papa Danger as well for a statue visit. I think you might be right, though. I think that last one might have been just a little blatant. A little aggressive there. I think the BB went so well, you know, sometimes you start thinking I'm invincible. I know I'm not literally thinking that, but I think that the flirt was just a little aggressive there.
Yeah.
And again, you just don't have to rush it. I know he's a little worried about time here, but you know, the last thing you need to do is get paired up as a possible flirter with your seduction target, because that's how they're going to get you on a 3-5 easily.
Still has 1:20 left to play, looking for 2 flirts on another mission.
And the party is not helping out. I think literally one person's gone to statues. You'd really hope to get a few here.
Yeah, difficult situation
there's
for
one.
KCM.
Path there around Rocker. Oh, and the ST leaves.
Oh no, KCM was taking the long path to try to avoid being suspected for a bug.
I don't think he can get away with flirt now after that. I think he's going to
so.
have to do something else. I don't know what he's going to do. He's going to have to bug and inspect. And that's what he thought too.
Yep, that's what he thought. And that's what Caley thought. And we are all tied up at 3. Snipers have been utterly dominating this set.
As that looked, I actually think KCM made the best choice with what he had.
I agree.
I think once the ST bailed, he maybe already suspects that he was being a little aggressive with the flirt. I think at that point he knows Kaylee's onto it. Remember, this is not the full pub map. This is the lower number of characters here. So there's just really not that much going on. Filio pointing out that we just got a third statue visit. Actually, the seduction target went. So I don't know. The party might have been helping him out there at the very end if he'd waited another 20 seconds. But whatever was going to happen, I think at that point he rightly understood that he was not going to get away with the flirt, even if he had time, which he didn't. So he went for the bug and the inspect, and I think it was over at that point. Once he paired the possible flirts, and once the party didn't really do much leading up to the end, there was just no way he was going to win.
Indeed, and now we are heading in to the gallery. Kaylee's last map pick. Starting things off on the spy side, KCM on the sniper, 4 of 8. As we step into things, how does Kaylee start this? Is he going to start fast again, or is he going to take his time? Looks like he's just going to go for an early flirt, but his ST just turns around on him.
Yeah, and I got to say, whatever else happens from here on out, so far, the very impressive game for KCM in particular. He's coming into this 0-2, remember?
Boldest time ad! What? Kaylee!
Oh, wow. I don't... you know what? Let's take a look at this right here. What's going on back there? The Amba's in a semi-vulnerable position. 3 people are at bookshelves. 3 people are at statues, and Toby's tray is down. So I don't mind the decision at all. It only looks bold because he's assuming KCM is going to be zoomed in, looking at all those things going on, and I don't blame him. KCM probably should have been looking at some of that a little closer. Kaylee, I think it's a perfectly defensible decision. I'm just amazed that KCM wasn't laser focused on all the stuff going on behind him. Look at the freeze frame of when he actually adds 45 seconds to the match. Look at all the stuff going on. 3 statues, 3 bookshelves, the tray's down, the Amba's vulnerable, and he's looking at out front.
Yeah, but even then, like, he was literally the only person outside.
Well, yeah, there's that too. But the flip side of that is that there's so much going on inside, and KCM is finding the time to look outside. I get the logic, I guess is what I'm saying. He figured if I'm ever going to get away with it, it would be right now.
Either way, KCM is on the spy side looking to take this set home. Kaylee on the sniper.
Yep.
Looking for overtime.
Big. Remember, Kaylee 2-0, KCM coming into this 0-2. So this is already, having forced at least overtime, this is a nice return to form for KCM. This is the KCM we know.
Absolutely. 51% on the flirt to start things out. And I would absolutely love to see what these two get into if overtime happens. Green Purloin coming out from the back as he steps away. Trey is down. Another reject. This is all turning up KCM right now.
Yeah, I like the early Purloin. I like it in the crowded conversation. Yeah, this is good. And I don't know how on it Kaylee is. He's definitely watching it. That's some bad luck.
It is indeed. Now, does he remember? Certainly getting a bunch of lowlights. Highlights KCM. It looked like he was second-guessing himself with the laser movement, but now he is on top of things.
Yeah, he's whittling it down, and that's one thing. It's one thing to not catch the Purloin, but on a map like this, you need to be able to get at least some pretty good lowlights, 3 or 4 solid ones that you feel good about.
And that is a hell of a lot more than 3 or 4 lowlights as the BB comes off.
Yeah, you gotta... Wow. Yeah, you really gotta narrow that down.
2 highlights, 1 neutral light. That's what we're working with here.
Best snipers. The best snipers, you can get things by them, but there's almost always a cost. You almost never get away clean. They extract something from you for it. They narrow it down most of the time.
And now is the time where things like good bouncing become really important, and KCM got it. And the 2 flirt. KCM can step into statues once and finish up, although I think he might get shot for it if he does.
The best chance right now is that the other highlight does something suspicious. That is far and away your best option. Give him a little bit of time to see if he's going to help you out.
But does KCM know that he's in such a weird position right now? 1 minute left to play. He's got a little bit of time to burn.
This is where your party sense comes in. You have to have a good sense of how suspicious am I? How on to me is he?
I like doing this sooner rather than later. You don't want to be seen stepping into statues in the last couple of seconds, but KCM takes a bullet. Kaylee is on it, and ladies and gentlemen, we have our first overtime of the evening.
That's fantastic. I don't think KCM played that bad. I think Caley just did a really good job. I think it was he just made a really good job of narrowing it down based on the purloin. And then that combined with the BB to give him a very manageable suspects list. And the other one, and this is just bad luck, Snaps just didn't do anything, really.
Yeah.
Very decent chance he's
I'm going to be honest. I think the Spies have played well every single game so far. It's just that the Snipers have played better.
I agree. This is almost all on the Snipers. I think that's really fantastic, and it's got to be weird because what's funny about that is that right now both players, even though they've played so well on Sniper, are super frustrated as Spy right now.
Oh,
they're just thinking I can't get away with anything, man. They're getting green purloins and then reject chains afterwards, and they're getting away from it when it goes off and all this other stuff, and it just doesn't seem to matter.
Just doesn't seem to matter.
So a quick refresher on the overtime rules. We don't need to get in every little bit of minutia, but the basic idea is that the first person, it doesn't. There's a formula for picking it based on who spied last, I believe. But the basic idea is that one person will pick a map, a guest and a mission setup, and then the other person, having seen that, gets to decide whether or not to spy or snipe. So you can't pick a crazy imbalanced mode because if you do, they'll just pick the unbalanced side. And then they flip roles and they do the exact same thing. So you can get two different maps and you can get crazy game modes. We've seen that a few times already this year.
And if they split it, they don't keep going. It just leave it at a draw.
It's going to be really interesting to see what they pick because there are no restrictions.
Asks if you can pick bad maps. Filio, you can pick anything.
Yes.
You can even pick maps that aren't even in rotation. You can pick known
20 guests on balcony.
Yeah. You can do it if you want. Don't, but you can.
But you pick that mode and then they pick Spy or Snipe.
Yeah.
Old art ballroom, I think they're saying. And yes, Vorvac, old art balcony, 20 guests. That is legal, but then they get to decide which side of that they want. And by the way, I believe Drawn did this in his match recently. I think something like this happened recently. Yeah, okay, so let's see what we're doing here. Is it old art ballroom? Is that what we're doing?
Well, we're not seeing anything
That was my joke pick. I haven't heard what we're doing. Man, that was such a great set so far. Oh my god.
Right?
Oh man, I'm just sitting here watching and I'm just like, wow.
The sniper play is unreal.
Yeah, I'm so. There was one game where I was like, oh man, I forgot who was spying. I was like, he's got it. There's no way. And oh yeah, that's right. It was on ballroom, and then just KCM popped him. I was just like,
it's boring.
Balcon. Geo. I wonder who picked this one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say KCM.
Especially when one of the people banned it from regular play.
Well, KCM is spying.
We are away. KCM on the spy. Caley feeling confident enough to snipe on it.
I mean,
KCM no control.
It's about as close to 50-50 as you can hope for right now, in the sense that rolling dice are pretty even.
Little bit of no control from KCM. Hasn't been able to find an early flirt, so this is not a great start from him on the spy side. And second target.
No, I like that with the he walked away from the briefcase the second it was picked up, but he's not going to get a low light for it. Kaylee's not going to give him away like that. He's not up against Bacon here. He's not up against Fury. That's not going to work this time.
It was a very good redirect off of the briefcase, but
he's going to need a 2 flirt if this is going to work. He's going to have to go green here and then timer flirt. He does get the first one.
The green.
He pairs him though. I don't know if he can win.
Left to play.
I don't know if he can win.
Tough.
The only way he can win is if the AIs help him out.
Don't ignore Toby. Don't ignore Toby. You're ignoring Toby. Don't do that. Okay.
Unless one of the AIs helps him out.
We shall see. Caley is in a strong position here.
Yeah, he really is. He's got the flirt paired already, and the AIs are just not helping that much. They're just not. They're not being overt about possible flirts. He's going to have to green the BB, and I still don't think that's be enough because I think there's a chance he could get shot for the second talk, which is amazing, by the way. You don't see never mind. It's a white test.
This could be death.
Probably going to do it.
Only talker. DA gets low lit.
He might be so sure he hasn't flirted. There it is.
There's the flirt, and there's the shot for the double talk.
So here's the crazy thing. We don't know for sure I think a green BB. I don't think he gets away with it. It's rare to hit 3 greens, 2 flirts, and 1 BB on balcony and get shot for it anyway. But it has happened. I've done it once in my entire Spy Party career. Turnout did it to me once in a competitive match. I hit 3 greens and he still shot me. It's really hard. But I think in that case there were not that many likely flirters. When you looked at the beginning of that game, there were 4 people standing in the conversation roughly equidistant from one another, like the 4 cardinal directions. So it looked like nobody was trying to flirt, basically. And the AI, usually they pack in there and there's all sorts of possible flirters in the beginning. If you're KCM, you're thinking, goodness, I didn't flirt until 45 seconds in. I hit 2 green flirts. What do I got to do to win here? He might be sitting there frustratedly thinking the white BB got him killed, but I don't think so. I think the lack of viable AI flirts is what did it.
Either way, KCM is facing yet another loss, and seeing KCM down 0-3 would be one heck of a shock. Let's see if, and it's Caley's map pick as well. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. Area where seeing him down 0-3 might not be a shock because Diamond is absolutely loaded. A great player can struggle in Diamond, but it would be a shame, I think, from his perspective, to not at least get a tie out of this.
Yeah, I agree.
Given how well he's played. On the other hand, if he plays like this every week going forward, he's not going to stay winless much longer. Caley has matched him because Caley's one of the best in the game. But if he can play like this every week, he's going to rack up some wins because this is probably the best he's played this year.
One of the best in the game, he says about the man who has won everything we've put on for a few years now. Yeah. But before Caley started winning everything, the man who was winning everything was KCM. And if KCM is playing on form, there is basically no one in the game who can beat him. And it's going to be known... Nope, never mind. I just saw the thing come up and I got excited. Let's see what it settles on.
It looks like it might be settling on Modern. We might be getting another balcony variant here, but...
Nope, not yet.
I think the thing is, there are so few modes when you think about it where you're okay playing as Spy in case the other person picks Sniper. So you're seeing a disproportionate number, I think, in these overtime matches picking balcony variants because they really don't want to pick something that they're at an obvious disadvantage as Spy at. Which might be something to think about in future SCL seasons because I think we're going to tend towards these types of maps as long as that's true.
And it's double Modern 3 of 5.
Fine choice.
Caley on the Spy, KCM on the Sniper.
And kind of changes direction, but doesn't do it in order to go get a flirt. It looks like he goes and does it to get an early BB.
Oh, look at the amber, though.
Oh, right there. White BB. Is he going to go right into a bug?
He has a drink. He can't.
Oh, geez, you're right. Goodness, that's terrible, terrible luck. I think he would have gone for it otherwise. And he's got it all split out as to who could have done the real one, who could have done the fake one. KCM right now, he looks really on the ball. It looks like he's still really sharp here, Sniper. We'll see what happens next.
Indeed, KCM is playing a good game behind the rifle. Caley a little bit slow to start. Bug in convo, shot comes off, and the set is split. Tie game, 5-5.
Caley continues his unbeaten streak. He still hasn't lost a game, and it's not exactly a win for KCM, but it's not a loss either. And he should definitely hold his head high here. And I think the Spies can hold their heads high too, knowing that most of them played some pretty good games there. A couple were a little sloppier than others, but very few were awful, and some of them were very good. But boy, the Sniper play, ridiculous.
10 Sniper wins this match. Clean sweep.
Yeah, that's really remarkable. I think we do have a little bit of an issue here, though. You'll see that when these matches are particularly high stakes, you'll get this. Some of the other matches, maybe there's a little more playful feel, and people will pick funnier modes. But at the highest levels, where the stakes are high, you're going to get a lot of balcony and balcony variants and softail variants with these overtimes because nobody's going to want to pick anything else. Because if you pick anything else, they're always going to snipe.
Indeed, man, oh man, what a match though.
Yeah, that was one hell of a match. My God.
Yeah, back and forth the whole way. I'm really impressed by both of them. I think a couple of them are hopping into Discord here in just a minute, so we can quiz them just a little.
We can do the post round analysis.
Yeah, I've only got a few more minutes, but I would love to talk to them briefly if we can.
Yeah, that's no worry. I get to take over for you when you go. So the quality of the stream might dip a little bit.
Oh, they're in stream 1. I guess should we? Oh, do they need to come in here?
Oh, they can't join because I don't think they're set as casters. Here, I can drag them in.
Oh,
Where do they go?
KCM left.
KCM left.
I can like.
Here, I can
they're
pull
back.
them in. I can pull them in. Hold on.
All right,
Hello.
gentlemen.
You're on live with the world. Unless you didn't want to talk to us, in which case I'll kick you back out.
No, absolutely. You were just saying we should hop in Discord real quick and talk about it.
Oh,
That
cool.
was a-
Right.
That was one hell of a match.
Tough set. Damn.
Yeah, Jesus. First question: how frustrated were you guys on the Spy side?
I wasn't. So it's like playing like a poker hand, and you have to fold everything that's at all bad, and then you have the one thing where you have to take your 25% shot, knowing it's not going to work. But you're just pleased that you did the best percentage shot you could, even though you lost. That's what that set was like. I feel like that was really good spy play both sides, even though snipers won all the games.
Absolutely.
Snipers were better. Yeah.
It's just Spy Party is a sniper favored game, and tough set. Damn.
I like what you said there, Kaylee. I really like talking about this, and Tobo, you've probably heard me say this 50 times because it's one of my favorite things to talk about. These situations where a spy knows that they're going to make a decision that's probably going to get them shot, but they still recognize that it's their best decision. Maybe it's a 30% chance of working, but it's actually higher than any other single choice, right? So it's the plurality winner. And I think a good spy needs to be able to do that. They need to take those Hail Mary shots that are probably going to lose, but are still more likely to get them to win than any other decision they can make.
I was really impressed. Yeah,
yes.
we can hear
Hello.
Okay, cool. Good games.
I think
very good games. I had a
perfect
lot of fun that set.
Damn,
It was
that
really
was tough.
stressful.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it just sucks because at the end, you won the balcony games, so the whole last game, I'm like, well, I have to win this, right?
Yeah.
It's stressful.
Or it's all for nothing. A perfect example, Kaylee, of what you were just talking about with the I have to do this, even though it's probably not going to work. The example we honed in on during that game was KCM on pub when the ST left him there, and you'd paired them together, it looked like, as likely flirt partners.
I hadn't paired anyone on that map.
Oh,
I
really?
had everybody was a suspect except for my 2 lowlights on that map. I was really freaking out.
Followed him to flirt, and you highlight both of them back to back.
Oh yeah. No, I saw that, and I thought they were just really oddly close together in a weird way. And there was an AI packed in also really close, and I just didn't quite like it. And that's the kind of thing you have to pay attention to on behavioral maps. So I highlight both of them. No, he wasn't. He was by far not the highest suspect, and I just saw the bug.
Left, I guess.
I had to do something. It was either grab and inspect or maybe time ad, but time ad I was running out of time for that. So
Yeah.
I think that was the closest.
I was pretty sure I was going to get shot, but I was hoping that you'd look elsewhere briefly.
The whole point there was because the selection target decided to be a dick, and Casey was going to have to chase
I had to chase twice. Chase twice.
Right. So we were talking about that, and we were thinking, if Kaylee's really onto him, or even if he's just worried he is, he might have to do what Kaylee just described. He has to make that choice that's probably not going to work, but it's his best option. And we thought, what's he going to do? Probably bug and inspect, and right then you went for the bug. And I actually think it was the right choice. I really do.
Speaking of interesting choices, on pub, when I was the spy, I had to make a very hard choice because my BB turned out fake. And that was actually a blessing in disguise, because I feel like the more I thought about it, and KCM and I were talking about this, if that KBB had gone off with real ST in there, or real DA in there,
I would have shot guaranteed.
Yeah, I think it would have looked really bad. So it actually was sort of a blessing in disguise. But then when I had to do my last flirt, I had to decide, am I going to do it right on the button at 11 seconds or 10 seconds? Or am I going to do it 7 seconds or something?
Well, the good news is it didn't matter. We were talking about how from the time that BB went off, KCM played the sniper perfectly. There was nothing that could have been done.
Yeah, I highlighted the other person, and she wasn't really doing anything. I was ready to shoot you the moment you entered and talked to the DA. I was like, this is the BB. And when the DA left, I was like, well, I don't have to shoot now. But, I was 100% certain at that point, or 99%, right? Because if you're 100, you shoot. The first game was just I saw the bug at the very start. I like zoomed in on the statues and the DA or the Emba was right there, and I also caught the bug. But it's the first game in a set, and I spent the rest of that time, you know, gauging how you're going to play the rest of the set, and also trying to come up with a good excuse for shooting. But then I realized you're not going to do, and that's the problem. Is like, they're only going to do one hard tell, and if you don't shoot for that hard tell, you have to come up with like a bullshit reason for shooting, like shoot after a BB or after a flirt, and then make them think that you paired them or something, right? But you can run into this situation where you wait for a second hard tell to shoot for and you don't get it, and then they sneak out a win, or you miss the shot because you're getting cocky or something.
Right.
At the end of the day, they know, like, most likely know it was a delayed shot for the bug. So what's the point? But I don't know. I'd like to get into Caley's headspace at the start of the set and have him think, why did he shoot there? Is KCM on another level or something? You know? And if you have like a little bit of doubt in your mind, you know, maybe the rest of the set you're going to play weaker.
You shoot the very second it's even remotely possible he's finished, but not before. I think you did it exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he had snuck like something that I missed or something,
The first two games, I mean, as often I try to do against KCM and other snipers who snipe similarly, like I try to win by I'm gonna just get hard tells past you, and that was my plan going in. It just got crushed, like because he like destroyed me off of bugs on maps where it's hard to see bugs. Man, I'm just not getting anything by him. On gallery, I was like, okay, everything's like there's Amba in the back. There's like 8 things having to do a time ad, and it just pow. I was like, damn it.
Yeah, it was your last spy game. It was your last spy game too, and I thought for a second, should I let this one go? And I was like, nah, it's his last.
No, you got to shoot.
So I shot
the only one even outside. I think. Yeah, that's a 100%.
Yeah, I think there was one person at the window before you, and like you said, it was really cluttered in the back. So I had that in my mind. I was like, well, you know, if I was the spy, you know, what's the best place to be?
Yeah, one step ahead of me.
Time looked really good right then, and it did. I just paid attention to it for a second. I was like, hopefully, I win here.
Good man.
Which map is this again? Sorry.
Gallery. We're talking about the time ad shot.
Yes, yeah. That was remarkable. We were looking at it, and Tobo and Hummus were the first thing they wondered was why would he time ad there? And then I looked at the map behind, and I saw everything was happening inside. So much was going on.
Yeah,
I don't know,
there's a bug threat to Amba.
That's what I was thinking. But the problem is that's what KCM was thinking too.
Yeah.
KCM saw it's so busy in the back, it'd be really good to do a time ad right now. So he guarded.
I mean, that's the kind of Yomi that doesn't sound
diamond
silly
level, baby.
You know, that's the good kind of Yomi.
That is diamond level.
That was great because
that was tough shots.
Man,
it was such a crazy time to not be looking in the party.
I'm much more impressed with your shots. I don't think I gave you a single easy shot. Well, red BB, right? I thought I had that game too.
Like there,
you had me highlight,
and then
it was
I a
down
suspect
to 3
for the
people.
purloin there?
We're one of
the purloin got it down to 3 people in that game.
Because I wondered if I got away with the purloin, and I don't think you highlight me, but you also had a bunch of lowlights, right?
Yeah, I knew it was green, I was pretty sure it was green, and so that left it really with 2. And so I was looking at it pretty close.
You had 2 highlights and a neutral light at that point.
Yeah, something like that sounds right. And then
when I lost that game, because I did feel I got away with the purloin, you know, I know now that I didn't, right? But I thought I did. And when I lost that game to the red BB, I was upset.
That was the chance.
I was like, this was my chance to win a spy because there's not going to be another spy win.
No,
Pub isn't, right? So
if your it sounds like your ST screwed you on Pub, but if your ST hadn't screwed you, you would have won that game. Like I was lost.
I mean, what else was I going to do? I had Flirt and I had BB, but I still have to hit up statue, and that's a late statue.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm not sure that I had it, even if you felt lost. Like, I still needed that. Even if I was finished with those 2 missions, I had a minute to do one more. It's what am I going to do? That's tough.
I was worried on your behalf that you thought the red BB had cost you the game, and we knew that it probably hadn't. But I remember thinking,
I might have lost, but I had it down to 3.
Yeah, you were probably going to win that game, but he doesn't know that. He's sitting there thinking, oh man, I blew it, you know, and it's such a bad feeling to think that you might have given that away. But I don't think you did, for what it's worth.
You know, I felt really, really bad about it, but the second I hit like next game, it went away, and I didn't think about it again after that. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, sometimes I can't do that, but this time I just did it.
Solid games.
Yeah,
All
really.
right, guys. I
solid
don't
game.
want to keep you too long. Do you guys have any more questions? Because we don't want to keep you from. We know
All
got
right,
other
you guys
games.
got a show to
Oh,
do.
just thanks a ton for coming out to chat. This was awesome.
Yeah, it was good.
And great games,
It's
It's
guys.
like real
Fun times.
sports.
Keep up the good work.
Yeah,
guys.
thank you. I'm gonna watch the
I will tune into the
stream
chat
now.
All right, cool. We'll see you there.
Yep.
All right, gentlemen.
Wow,
I gotta
well
run.
said.